Heritage Auctions presents just a few of the many highlights from our upcoming space exploration auction, number 6052, to be held November 30th, 2011, right here in Dallas, Texas. Important space memorabilia from both the U.S. and Russian space programs will be up for bid, with many items consigned directly to us by the astronauts themselves. This 5¼ inch long LM-3 engraved spacecraft identification plate is directly from the personal collection of Mission Lunar Module pilot Rusty Schweickart and is signed and certified by him on the reverse. 3 of these Lunar Module ID plates were flown aboard Apollo 9. LM-3, nicknamed Spider, spent 10 days in Earth orbit with Apollo 9, an historically important mission. This jacket has its original tagging and patches intact and is signed by Young. It is one part of a 4-part garment used in training. The garment was designed to be worn inside the spacecraft when the full pressure suit was not needed. Several of these Apollo in-flight coverall garments are held in the Smithsonian collection. Components of these outfits are rarely offered at auction. Here is a 6×4-inch silk American flag that Collins has signed and certified, carried to the moon on Apollo 11, July 1969. Michael Collins, CMP. Any flag carried to the moon aboard the landmark flight of Apollo 11 is a strongly sought-after space collectible. For it to be signed by and directly from the collection of the crew member makes it even more rare and desirable. The obverse of this Apollo 11 medal, struck by the Robbins Company, depicts the early version of the mission insignia as originally designed by Michael Collins and is one of the only official items rendering the design as it was meant to be. NASA thought the original eagle looked too warlike. 450 of these medals were manufactured and flown on this mission, the first manned moon landing, and at the time were only available to the astronauts, their families, and fellow astronauts. This excellent example, still in its original numbered case, comes directly from the collection of astronaut Rusty Schweickart and includes a signed letter of authenticity from him. Offered here is a 1-page letter written on the inside of an Apollo 11 note card where Armstrong thanks the correspondent for a Christmas card and answers questions about the camera film used on the mission. He states, quote, "The eye sees primarily shades of gray on the moon. When the sun is high in the sky, some shades of brown and tan can be seen," unquote. Accompanying the note is the original NASA transmittal envelope, postmarked Houston, Texas, November 24th, 1969. Any handwritten Armstrong letter is rare and desirable, but the collectability of this lot is increased exponentially by the 1969 date and his mention of the moon. From James Lovell's personal archives comes this Apollo 13 flown Lunar Module Systems Activation Checklist. The ring-bound book would normally have been used to activate the lunar module for its trip to the moon, but this was no normal mission. 56 hours into the flight, an explosion in the service module rendered the command module essentially useless, forcing the lunar module to be used as a lifeboat. First, though, the command module guidance data would have to be calculated and entered into the lunar module computer manually. Commander Lovell used this book to make those critical calculations that allowed a safe return to Earth. This amazing piece has been signed and certified by Lovell, and he has written a note to explain its use in the mission. This 6×4-inch cloth United States flag, directly from the collection of Mission Lunar Module pilot Edgar Mitchell, was carried aboard the lunar module Antares all the way to the surface of the moon on February 5, 1971, where it remained for more than 33 hours. Apollo 14 was the 3rd successful lunar mission. Dr. Mitchell has signed on the 3 lower white stripes, "Flown to the lunar surface aboard Antares, February 5, 1971. Edgar Mitchell, Apollo 14 Lunar Module pilot," and has also included a signed letter of authenticity. Thanks for visiting with us here at Heritage Auctions, and good luck acquiring some of these national treasures. Remember, the auction's on November 30th. We'll see you there.